Oh, glorious Srila Gaurahari Das. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Krishna Krishna, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. 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 Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. James, Peter, nice to see you both come along. Yeah, great to see you, Peter. Yeah. Yeah, we're just reading a little bit from Pastimes of Chaitanya. This is the liberation of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Gopinathacharya then addressed Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. But you are a great scholar and a teacher of many disciples. Indeed, there is no scholar like you on earth. Nevertheless, because you are bereft of even a pinch of the Lord's mercy, you cannot understand him, even though he is present in your home. So, like, you can have an altar, with pictures but if you ain't got the Lord in your heart awoken, if you haven't got the association of an empowered ecstatic devotee, you might have a deity picture on the altar in your home, but you haven't got it in your real home, the heart. Krishna's in the heart, controlling the wanderings of all living entities. James, nice to see you come along. I don't know if you're still here. Through the mercy of Guru, we stress this over and over again, but it's so simple, really. As we shared with Peter just a little bit before, we associate with people who are intense in a not very happy way. Maybe they're really sullen and really. Then that rubs off on us. So, all right, Madhu, Laddu. So the association is apparent there in a material example of somebody who's sullen and depressed. If you're with them, that can rub off on you. So equally, if you are fortunate to associate with Srila Gaurahari Das, who's always absorbed in Krishna pastimes, Chaitanya pastimes, that rubs off on you, and that's great mercy, that's fortune. So that's what this verse is talking about, the Lord's mercy. The Lord's mercy is given through a guru. We've got to go deep into these verses, and only through Guru's mercy can we do that.
And that's through total surrender, correct association from a pure devotee, and through the correct association, the Lord's mercy will flow, and that's through Guru. Then you can get to understand him. Understand Krishna. Yeah.
There's still a lot of people thinking that if you go to the deity, there's that cutting out of the guru. It's like that example when the devotee said to Srila Prabhupada in America, we're so fortunate we got Krishna. We're so fortunate we got Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada says, so fortunate I came to give you Krishna. And we're so fortunate that Srila Gaurahari Das came here. He dragged us out of Varnashram, of Yeah, we're in King's Lynn. We're just waiting for the bus back to Cov, and just charging up the phone here in McDonald's, so it's plugged in, and just having a coffee. Yeah, it's Guru's mercy, and you know, I've seen how compassionate Guru Maharaj is. You know, he took Karuna out of that the Varnashram of cow protecting, and gave him that higher taste, you know. And we're speaking here, you know, that direct connection between somebody, and it's similar to 12-step fellowship. It's similar to the Christian tradition. Through somebody who's empowered, has a spiritual awakening, Bhakti Devi, you get that. It's that transferability. You know, if they're in that bath, that mood of ecstasy and intimate, deep worship of the Supreme in whatever incarnation, you know, Caitanya-caritāmṛta is the latest one we have, and within is all incarnations. Then you get that bliss and that ecstasy, and then it's so simple. You know, it's simple for the simple, complicated for the complicated, and unfortunately, many people go away from spiritual life because of the dogma, the hard stuff, that people cover up the very simple path of spiritual lineage, which is associated with somebody who's in ecstasy, in a relationship with the Supreme. It's that simple.
Even his devotees, associating with like Govinda, my friend Govinda, you associate with Rangalekha, associate with Guru Maharaj, you know, you associate with Karuna, Yamuna, you associate with these Raganuga devotees, you know, you'll become more higher and higher elevated, you know, and it's only through pure association you're going to get the mercy from Guru and Krishna.
Yeah, and you know, on the recent journey that I undertook, you know, Guru's mercy, what was clear to me, the most important thing is the devotion every devotee has with their Ishvara, Chaitanya, Shiva, Radha, Krishna, Govinda, Gopala, Narasimha. You know, isn't it amazing? Jesus Christ, I believe Madhu's Ishvara, higher power is Jesus Christ, and also is Guru Maharaj's. Guru Maharaj, I just posted a video to Peter, I'm not sure if he's still here, hopefully I'll watch the rewind, of Guru Maharaj's spiritual awakening. You know, he was in ecstasy for 3 weeks when he had that awakening with Jesus Christ, just from reading the, I think it was the Book of John. Book of John, yeah, he read the Book of John, and that awoke in him. You know, that tells us, you know, what Jesus Christ said. I mean, he's in the Word. You know, heaven and earth will pass away, but my word will always remain. You know, and that's so parallel to the Hare Krishna Maya mantra. It's the potency within the mantra. You know, it's so powerful, so powerful. I don't know how to point them, but I kind of. Anyway, next we go to the next one. It is not your fault, it is the verdict of the scriptures. You cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead simply by scholarship. They're in essence what we were just purporting, realising. Grace of Guru, grace of Radha Krishna. You can't understand it by scholarship. You know, unless you relish what you're reading, unless you taste what you're reading, unless you're realising, unless you're open to receive this mercy, you can't see what's in these books. And some of the devotees, you know, read them over and over and over and over again. And read that again. It is not your fault, it is the verdict of the scriptures. You cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead simply by scholarship. So, association with an empowered devotee, how simple can it be? You know, we have a voted-in guru system in the world, and you know, it's just what it is. that isn't anywhere in scripture. You know, it just tells us simply that somebody's tasting it and gives it to others. Nasi Kamlanga Raj.
Yeah.
Just reading from the Liberation of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. It was a great class this morning. We watched with our friend Peter.
Yeah, he loved it.
Yeah.
He's listening to Maharaj chanting and Janaki, you know, listening to both of them. He says, wow, he says he can't understand it, but he can feel it, you know. So it just shows, you know, you don't have to have the gyan, you don't have to have the knowledge, you know, the shastric knowledge, you know, you can just feel it in your heart, you know. And he felt it, you know. He doesn't know, it was his first time, you know, he doesn't know anything about, you know, like Shastras. He felt it in his heart. He said, I can feel it. He didn't understand it. He said, I can feel it through the heart.
Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya replied, "My dear Gopinath Acharya, please speak with great care. What is the proof that you have received the mercy of the Lord?" Gopinath Acharya replied, "Knowledge of the summum bonum, the absolute truth, is evidence of the mercy of the Supreme Lord."
Let me just give a purport.
Yeah.
Just to explain it more in detail.
Yeah.
Gopinath Acharya replied, "Knowledge of the summum bonum, the absolute knowledge, is evidence of the mercy of the Supreme Lord." What this actually means is, in the purport, it mentions about Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is actually informed, he's told his brother-in-law, Gopinath Acharya, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead may not have shown mercy to me. But what is the proof of having shown it to you? Kindly let us know about this. In reply, now what Gopinath Acharya said was that the summum bonum, this absolute supreme, the absolute truth, and his different potencies are actually identical. Therefore, one has to be able to understand the substance of the absolute truth by the manifestation of his different potencies. The summum bonum includes all the potencies in one unit. The absolute truth combined with different characteristics is an original substance. Now this is what we call vastu. Parasya shaktir vivideva shruyate. Thus the Vedas actually state that the absolute truth has different potencies. When one understands the characteristics of the potencies of the absolute truth, one is then definitely aware of the absolute truth. On the material platform as well, one can understand the substance by the manifestation of its symptoms. Now, when I was looking at Peter's, face when he was listening to Maharaj's chanting, those, the ecstatic symptoms he was looking at, he was feeling it in his heart, and he doesn't have much knowledge about Shastras or anything like that. He felt the symptoms through his heart. Now to continue from this, for example, when there is heat, it is to be understood that there is fire. The heat of the fire is perceived directly. The fire may be not invisible. Sometimes you can't see it, but you can feel the fire. But one can search out the fire by feeling it. This is what's mentioned in here. Similarly, if one can perceive the characteristics of the absolute truth, only then we can know that he is understood the substance of the absolute truth by the mercy of the Lord, which is Kripa. Now, if you look in Bhagavad-Gita, chapter 7, verse 25, it says, Naham prakasha sarvasya. The Supreme Personality of Godhead actually reserves the right of not being exposed to everyone. And then it mentions Seva mukhe hi jivalo swayam eva sparte adha, which actually means that the Lord reveals himself to a devotee when he is completely satisfied by the devotee's service. Thus one cannot understand the Supreme Lord without His mercy. It's only through His mercy you can understand the Supreme Lord. The absolute truth cannot be understood by any other speculation. And this is the conclusion of Bhagavad-Gita.
Yeah, what comes to mind there, I've shared it before, but it's just, I love it so much, is that early days, maybe the first time I met Guru Maharaj, second time, he shared a dream. I love this, you know, and I always remember on my journey with Guru Maharaj, I remember lots of points. Another one was when he was in the kitchen and I was prepping the veg quite fast, and I put this in place in my life today, and it helps me. Guru Maharaj told me to slow down, you know, and I do try and do that today, you know, and if I don't do that, I can end up like cycling on a dual carriageway, which, you know, is dangerous. So I slow down. I think, although it was an example Guru Maharaj gave to me in the kitchen, I try and put it in my life situations. If I do that, just slow down, Govinda, and think about it. But what was, and you know, then it's better. It might be that way is a little bit longer. In this example, cycling around 4 miles, it's up and down, but it's better than cycling across down a dual carriageway. But what I wanted to share was, you know, how the Lord reciprocates. And Guru Maharaj shared a dream with me and Ranga when we first met him, that the Lord in his dream came to serve him, and Guru Maharaj was saying, I want to serve you. And Krishna said, but I come to serve you. And Guru Maharaj said, serve you. So it's that reciprocation, you know, when the Lord reveals himself, he serves us. In effect, I feel in my life he has been there, standing by, holding my hand in many situations, serious car accidents that I shouldn't have walked out of, but brought me to the point of surrender. So it was necessity in you know. Gopinathacharya continued, you have seen the symptoms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the body of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu during his absorption in an ecstatic mood. And we seen that over and over again with Guru Maharaj. Again in Mayapur Dham, I remember early one morning, you know, coming to class, and Guru Maharaj was reading Radharani Sastam, yeah, Radharani Lila, and wow, I was just so absorbed. You know, Guru Maharaj has all the symptoms that are so attractive from day one, when Karuna so mercifully introduced me to him. I mean, I say locked on, but how can you not be locked on when you see somebody? And I say locked on because it's so attractive, and that's full focus. You know, there's no desire to go anywhere else where people are reading from Shastra. Guru Maharaj reads, relishes, tastes, distributes, realizes, passes forward. So for me, I see Guru Maharaj totally absorbed in this ecstasy that I've never seen in my journey, and I want some of it, and we did get it. Both myself and Narayan, when we first started listening, we got a lot of tears, both of us, to the point where it was hurting our face, you know, and that's the desire, that lobha. The Raganuga path is just simply desire, isn't it?
Yeah, the lobha is the greed. Yeah.
And people are so, they are obstacles to this path, the sannyasis and the temple presidents, because they're not favourable to this, and this is so simple. You know, it's like a child. A child is so simple and innocent. He wants something, they want something, and it's like that. We want this intimate relationship with Radha Krishna, and we're told in the institutions, it has to be through cultural, through penances, austerities, and all those things that people may do or may not do. But Guru Maharaj is just showing us this. It isn't like that. He's showing us straight out of Chaitanya pastimes, Chaitanya Lila. I will always be so grateful to Guru Maharaj. You know, he's nice to see you coming along, River.
Hare Krishna.
All right, Didi, Karuna, and Tom, and Nottingham Dham, Rangaleka. I will always be so grateful to Guru Maharaj for what he's bestowed upon. You know, I know from practical experience, you know, the wealth. I had wealth before, and as I was sharing with Peter before, a wealth of what? Wealth that I've just spent on drink, drugs, cars, and all the rest of it, that just caused me pain. And Krishna's taken that away now, but he still provides what I need. But this wealth, what Guru Maharaj gives us,
spiritual eternal wealth.
My God,
You know,
this wealth.
This wealth will never finish.
It'll never finish. It takes us on an adventure. It takes us on this amazing kaleidoscope, colourful, transcendental adventure. Now, I know from my time in active alcoholism, when you've got that, surprisingly enough, no one wants to come near you. But today, people are attracted, and when they want a little bit more, and we sit down and we talk on spiritual principles, and Guru Maharaj has just enhanced and enhanced and enhanced my deeper understanding, give them taste, they get some of that. We carry forward what Guru Maharaj has given us. This is amazing.
We're just like the batteries, and he just like keeps recharging us all the time.
Yeah.
Gives us more mercy. Let the mercy flow. You know.
Yeah, and still people too busy. They haven't got that desire, that lobha. So we're shining a beacon of light out into the world, and it's getting quite bright now. But I just feel it's just penetrating, and maybe that just not just within but without as well. See that outside, you know, because when we do Krishna Katha, it's 800 miles around. You know, it's getting so bright. It's getting so bright. People are attracted to this sangha. It's cutting edge, and it's straight out Chaitanya Lila. You know, the path. How quickly has the path been covered up in 500 years with all this cultural crap, all this dress code crap.
Maharaj is like a Hoover. He just like, who was it out? Cleans the heart out.
Despite directly perceiving the symptoms of the Supreme Lord in the body of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, you cannot understand him. This is commonly called illusion. Despite directly perceiving the symptoms of the Supreme Lord in the body of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, you cannot understand him. This is commonly called illusion. I don't fully understand that. I mean, Guru Maharaj, of course, can purport deep. I don't fully understand that.
But in a similar way, where you know, there's a lot of people out there in the outside world. You know, they are in illusion, and it's called like Maya. You know, and even when you're chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and you're going through streets upon streets upon streets, you know, doing Harinam. You know, I'm doing Harinam. So many people come up to me and say, "Oh, what are you chanting?" Automatically, that gives an entrance for you to explain Krishna consciousness. You know, what's it all about? How's it going to save you from what's like a cycle of life and death? You know, and then I go into more details. So even doing Harinam, you know, that's the essence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, and that can actually, you know, liberate people. You know, when you send them into the right direction of the right sangha. Sangha of righteousness and truth, like Maharaj.
This is Harinam in Krishna Katha, Harinam.
You know, like we're talking about the Lord's pastimes. In a way, you know, that is part of it as well. You know. And it cuts some people when they accept it. they're out from the illusion of cycle, birth and death, and they come into the eternal reality of what Lord Krishna is about. These are like liberated souls, and you become purer and purer by listening more. You getting the taste, the higher taste, and relishing the nectar that comes out from Maharaj daily, and then you come out from this materialistic Maya illusion, slowly, bit by bit.
Yeah, we're shining a light, Guru Maharaj and Sangha shining a light in the eyes of the illusionist.
Yeah.
And after a while, the light's getting so bright, they might just be able to penetrate and break up those natas that we all have. Yeah.
But it's breaking up the ignorance, and giving them the true knowledge, from the scriptures, from Caitanya-caritāmṛta, and this is what breaks the illusion, as it says in the translation here that Govinda's just read.
Something else was there, but it's gone. A person influenced by the external energy is called Bahirmukha Jana, a mundane person, because despite his perception, he cannot understand the real substance. Hearing Gopinathacharya say this, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya smiled and began to speak as follows. The Bhattacharya said, "We are just having a discussion among friends and considering the points described in the scriptures. Do not become angry. I am simply speaking on the strength of the Shastras. Please do not take any offence." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is certainly a great uncommon devotee, but we cannot accept him as an incarnation of Lord Vishnu, because according to Shastra, there is no incarnation in this age of Kali. Another name for Lord Vishnu is Triyuga, because there is no incarnation of Lord Vishnu in Kali Yuga. Indeed, this is the verdict of the revealed scriptures. Upon hearing this, Gopinathacharya became very unhappy. He said to the Bhattacharya, "You consider yourself the knower of all Vedic scriptures.
Yeah.
Srimad Bhagavatam and the Mahabharata are the two most important Vedic scriptures, but you have paid no attention to their statements. In Srimad Bhagavatam and the Mahabharata, it is stated that the Lord appears directly, but you say that in this age there is no manifestation or incarnation of Lord Vishnu. In this age of Kali, there is no Lila avatar of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, therefore he is known as Triyuga. That is one of his holy names. A Lila avatar is an incarnation of the Lord who performs a variety of activities without making any special endeavour. He always has one pastime after another. Wow, yeah, pastimes are just always, and we went into them through tasting them with Guru's mercy. Yeah.
I mean, even reading through Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta, that's reading the pastimes of the Lord's, being incarnated down on this earth, as Radha and Krishna.
Yeah. Well, so what I'm realising is, there is there's Vaidhi and there is Raganuga side by side, and with Guru's mercy we can not be bewildered by the Vaidhi alongside the Raganuga. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifested in this age of Kali. There's a pastime of Narayana petitioning Krishna in Dwarka with Rukmini, and Krishna says, "For a long time I haven't given this mercy." So we know there's side by side. So if we don't see there's two paths, we can become bewildered, but we're not bewildered because we have Guru's mercy. Still, we're learning, and some, but we can realise but so on the path of Raganuga, we can have compassion for those on the Vaidhi. You know, they're bewildered because they cannot see there's two paths. And when you can see there's two paths, then okay, and you can see that that person's working their way up, like we did through the Varnashram, and you know, and if Guru Maharaj, without Guru Maharaj's mercy, we'd be lost within Varnashram, searching for that higher point of reference, because we all want that higher point of reference. But unless that higher point of reference is revealed, we can find fault in what there is out there, and that's to no benefit, just finding fault. Have to put in place something that's higher.
Yeah, the higher taste that will fulfill them.
Yeah, and on the point of fault finding, Guru Maharaj's finding fault is compassion. Yeah. It's you might, if you do that, you could fall into an abyss, into a dark cave. You know, like Guru Maharaj. I love the purport. One time he said we're like cows that wander off into the dark. So Guru Maharaj's compassion, and I see his compassion for the devotees in the Sangha who've come and don't come regularly. He's concerned about them.
Yeah, he helps them.
He's still concerned, and people have gone away, and whatever's happened, and we do whatever we do. You know, I made an amendment the other day to River in the Sangha. You know, we're always going to do stuff. The quickly we can make amendments, the better, but sometimes you need some guidance. Guru Maharaj a little, and then an amendment's necessary. You know, an amendment to someone where we do something that's faux pas or inconsiderate or just you know. So that was necessary in instance of me to River, and that's what we do, because stuff's always coming out. And I thank Guru Maharaj for that, because you know, I still haven't got over that pride of not being able to do an amendment directly myself, and need a little bit of guidance sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, the right guidance, you know, can bring compromising, you know, when two parts of the two people, you know, they can compromise together and help solve situation through Guru's mercy as well.
Yeah, there's nothing that can't be overcome. There's certainly amendments is something that. I love this song. River likes this song. I played this when we was down in Cambridge.
Leave the light on.
This is a song by an artist called Tom. It's called "I Will Leave a Light On." Tom Walker. It's a song about I will leave a light on, even though you've lost your way. We will always leave a light on. You know, you can always come and be part of our amazing grace, even if you do something stupid. You know, I mean, we on a collective level there. Guru Maharaj is always leaving a light on for us. He's always leaving a light on. You know, he welcomes devotees with all our faults, whatever we've done. Encourages us. It's a beautiful song. Tom Walker, "Leave a Light On." It's an amazing song. Gopinathacharya continued, "There is certainly an incarnation in every age." The Lord is merciful. That the Lord would only manifest one time it's just not logical. And such an incarnation is called the Yuga Avatar. But your heart has become so hardened by logic and argument that you cannot consider all these facts. So this is the logic and argument of one-upmanship, just to be victorious in argument.
It hardens the heart, and then you know you can't get that mercy once the heart is so hard. You know, it has to soften.
Yeah, that was one of Guru Maharaj's purports. Guru Maharaj purported that if the heart is soft, the footprints of the past times of Radha Krishna can be impressioned in.
And also, if it's soft like butter, Krishna can come and steal it away.
Well, if it's hard like the surface of this table, you can just walk over it. It doesn't make an impression because you're too hard.
Yeah.
So I think I'm getting a bit softer. I think so. I still got that Shiv, but I'm becoming softer. In the past, your son has had bodies of 3 different colours according to the age. These colours were white, red and yellow. In this age, Dwapara Yuga, he accepted a blackish body. I like that Krishna is Shamasundara. What other forms does Krishna take in? Black.
Like the bluish form.
Blue, but I'm thinking of black. Shamasundara. In this age of Kali, as well as in Dwapara Yuga, the people offer prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead by various mantras and observe the regulative principles of the supplementary Vedic literatures. Now please hear of this from me. In this age of Kali, those who are intelligent perform the congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna Maya mantra, worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appears in this age always describing the glories of Krishna. That incarnation is yellow in hue and is always associated with his plenary expansions, such as Sri Nityananda Prabhu, and personal expansions, such as Gaurahari, as well as his devotees and associates.
Nityananda, he's the one with the mercy.
Such as Srila Damodar.
Most compassionate. When we get to Chaitanya, through Nityananda, most compassionate, most merciful.
Oh. The Lord, in the incarnation of Gaurasundara, has a golden complexion. Indeed, his entire body, which is very nicely constituted, is like molten gold. Sandalwood pulp is smeared all over his body. He will take the 4th order of spiritual life, sannyas, and will be very much self-controlled. He will be distinguished from Mayavad sannyas in that he will be fixed in devotional service and will spread the Sankirtana movement.
Very well.
Gopinathacharya then said, "There is no need to quote so much evidence from the Sastra, for you are a very dry speculator. There is no need to sow seeds in barren land." Yeah.
Seeds in barren land.
And that's my realisation with we're doing our best to pull him. Like Guru Maharaj had to pull some of us out of our ashram. Pull him from sowing seeds in barren lands of swamis who don't want to listen to his sharing. So I have a desire to instate Narayan in my house.
We're going to work together.
Get him sharing more Facebook Live. So
YouTube threads.
looking to get him a telephone, a mobile, so he can do sharing. But it's not going to fall on barren ears of the swamis, so he can be more in the sangha.
We got all the books there as well.
Yeah, and I've got a place. I'm never there. You know, I'm on the road, so take advantage of my apartment.
So whenever he's out, we can do the preaching, or we both can do the preaching, or we can do preaching. You know.
Get him a phone. Get him a monthly contract, which
Yeah.
I think it'll be about £20, and get him fully, pull him into this Sangha like Guru Maharaj had to pull us.
Yeah.
Well, some of us were a bit more. All to different levels. We attach to certain things. That's just this material world all around us. Maya's so strong, you know. The pull of Maya is
illusionary energy. It's all around.
There's a little festival going on here last night in King's Lynn, and I still was like, there's a DJ I wanted to check out, but it's all right. I'm not into false renouncing. If I wasn't so tired, I would have probably watched. So we've had an amazing time. This has been an amazing time. Amazing association with all the devotees. Being with Tom was amazing. Being with Karuna, our time together was amazing.
And with Peter as well, you know. Peter was fantastic.
Rangaleka. All the devotees. Jan. I'm getting, Guru Maharaj says there's so many. There is so many. I'm getting like, I can't remember now as well. Yeah,
but it's enjoying, you know, to be part of the Sangha. You know, it's just like a family, the real family. You know, I mean, when I was in Owsley Hotel, you know, I was listening to 2 Mahabhagavatas and listening to the Hindu Association. This consisted of maybe 100, 200, 300 devotees. And in the end, you know, after listening to all that, you know, they had all these Vedic Shastric shlokas they were firing out this way and that way on Ramayana Katha and this. And I just sat there and listening to it all. And then when it finished, you know, I asked a few people, you know, if I can get a lift.
A few? You said you asked about 100 people or something?
Yeah, I asked quite a lot of people, you know, and even from the outside, from downstairs as well. They all said no. So I had to literally walk all the way back to Swami Narayan Mandir. So as I was walking up to Swami Narayan Mandir, this is a testimony I want to just to show, to say, as I was walking back to Swami Narayan Mandir, I sat down near the bus shelter, sat down and started meditating. All I saw was out of everyone that attended the Ramayana Katha, listening to all these Vedic Sanskrit shlokas, you know, that only 2 people that came in front of me, that was Govinda Das and Rangaleka. And then I thought, yeah, I mean, everything that we're reading today is actually proving that vision I had. It was actually about unalloyed devotion, you know. You got it in your heart, you know, you got compassion for others, you got emotion for others, you know, you're feeling it. You're feeling the pain for others. That's a proper Vaishnava. And it's not all about yourself, you know, you want to do this and that and that and that. You don't want to give this devotee a lift. You know, where is the unity? You can't have unity in disunity. There has to be unity. There has to be love. There has to be compassion. I mean, out of all those devotees, you know, I've only seen these 2 that come up in front of my eyes. And then I knew the Lord was showing me that these are the devotees that have compassion, Raganugas.
Yeah, I mean, you have so many. Amon shares so many realizations with me, and often he shared these seen Johan chanting.
Yeah. It comes as though he's a Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama.
So it would be amazing benefit to get him, pull him into this Sangha, and out of that, Vedic rituals and regulations. And he may want to do it in my flat if he's waving incense about. You know, walk down the streets of Coventry sometime. He's like, "Come and take darshan." I'm like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, leave me alone. I only go to temples to eat." We come here to eat properly. This is where we eat, not McDonald's. Caitanya Lila through Sri Gaurahari.
Relish the nectar. We feed on the nectar. That's a real spiritual food. It does, you know, that purifies your inside.
If you read a bit, I'm going to get a coffee. Do you want a hot chocolate?
Yeah.
Okay, so you get on camera because you're off camera there. I'll see you in a minute.
Okay. Hearing this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we're reading from Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta, Madhya 6, text 116. Hearing this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Do not speak like that, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya has shown great affection and mercy towards me. Out of paternal affection for me, he wants to protect me and see that I follow the regulative principles of sannyasi. What fault is there in this?" The next morning, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya today visited the temple of Lord Jagannath, and both of them were in a very pleasant mood. Now, when they entered the temple, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya offered Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a seat, while he himself sat down on the floor of due respect for a sannyasi. He then began to instruct the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on the Vedantic philosophy, and out of affection and devotion, he spoke to the Lord as follows. In the Vedanta, in the Brahma Sutra, it actually is written by Srila Vyasadeva. It's actually a book that's studied by all the advanced spiritual students, especially by the sannyasis of the religious community and sampradayas. The sannyasis must also read the Vedanta Sutra to establish the final conclusion concerning all Vedic knowledge. Now here, of course, the Vedanta mentioned is actually the commentary of Shankaracharya, known as Sharaka Bhashya. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya intended to convert Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was actually a Vaishnava sannyasi, into Mayavadi sannyasi. He therefore made this arrangement to instruct him in the Vedanta Sutras according to Shatraka commentary by Shankaracharya, that all the sannyasis of the Shankara Sampradaya enjoy seriously studying the Vedanta Sutras with Saraka Bhashya commentary. Now it's said in the Vedanta, it is said that Vedanta Vakyeshu Sada Ramanta. This actually means that one should always enjoy the studies of Vedanta Sutra. Trust me, it's very long and it takes a long time to understand it. The Vedanta, Vedanta Shravana is sannyasishira dharma. Nirantara kara tumi Vedanta Shravana. This actually means that the Bhattacharya said that hearing Vedanta philosophy is a sannyasi's main business. Therefore, without hesitation, you should study the Vedanta philosophy. Hearing it without cessation from the superior person, Lord Chaitanya replied, You are very merciful to me, and therefore I think it is my duty to obey your order. Thus, for 7 days continuously, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu listened to the Vedanta philosophy expounded by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. However, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not say anything and did not indicate whether it was right or wrong. He simply sat there and listened to Bhattacharya. On the 8th day, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you've been listening to all this Vedanta philosophy from me continuously for 7 days. You have simply been listening and fixed in your silence, since you do not say whether you think it's right or wrong. I cannot know. I cannot know whether you are actually understanding the Vedanta philosophy or not. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, I am a fool, and consequently I do not understand the Vedanta Sutras. I'm just trying to hear it from you because you have ordered me to. Only for the sake of executing duties of a renounced order, sannyasa, do I listen. Now, unfortunately, I can not in the least understand the meaning of what you are presented. Yeah. Now, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, now to get this into more perspective, the deeper understanding of this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually presented himself as if he was like a sannyasi in name only. Now, or in other words, number one fool. The Mayavadi sannyasis in India are very much accustomed to declaring themselves as Jagat Gurus, teachers of the world. Although they have no information of the outside world and are limited to their experience to small town or village, or perhaps to the country of India, nor do such sannyasis have sufficient education. Unfortunately, the present moment that there are many foolish sannyasis, both in India and elsewhere, who simply read and study Vedic literature without understanding the purports. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was having his discussion with the Chand Kasi, he's the Muslim magistrate of the Navdeep, I think, he recited a verse from the Vedic literature to the effect that the order of the sannyasi is prohibited in this age of Kali. Only those who are very serious and who follow the regulative principles and study Vedic literature should accept sannyas. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approved of sannyasis reading the Vedanta Sutras or the Brahma Sutras, but he did not approve of a Siraka commentary as is written by Adi Shankaracharya, that was. Indeed, he said everywhere, Mayavadi's Bhashya Sunila Sarvanasha. This means that actually if one hears the Siraka Bhashya of Shankaracharya, then he is doomed. Thus, a sannyasi, a transcendentalist, must read the Vedanta Sutras regularly, but he should not read the Siraka Bhashya. This is the conclusion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The real commentary on the Vedanta Sutras is Srimad Bhagavatam. Ato Yam Brahma Sutranam. This means Srimad Bhagavatam is the original commentary of the Vedanta Sutras. It was written by the author himself, by Srila Vyasadeva. And Sarvabhaumacharya replied, I accept you. I accept that you do not understand. Yet even one who does not understand inquires about subject matter. You are hearing again and again, yet you keep silent. I cannot understand this. What is actually within your mind? That's also happened to me a few times, when people in the temples reading, and I just keep silent. I meditated upon the name of the Lord. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then revealed his mind, saying, I can understand the meaning of each sutra very clearly, but your explanations have simply agitated my mind. Wow, this is coming from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The meaning of the four spherisms in the Vedanta Sutras contain clear purports in themselves, but other purports you presented simply covering the meaning of the sutras like a cloud. You do not explain the direct meaning of Brahma Sutras. Indeed, it appears that your business is to cover their real meaning. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued. The Vedanta Sutras is the summary of all the Upanishads. Therefore, whatever direct meaning is there in the Upanishads is also recorded in the Vedanta Sutras or the Vyasa Sutras. Yeah, I've studied this and I've seen even myself, that there is a lot of truth in this. I'm just going to the toilet for a minute.
So yeah, just listening and realising, as Amon was sharing that, isn't it like that? We're shining this beacon, we're shining this beacon, we're shining this beacon of light, and the illusionists cover up, trying to cover up, trying to cover up. We keep on shining, we keep on shining. It's like this great prasadam pantomime of Krishna. It's all the design of Krishna. Those brahmanas covering up. It's all illusion. We keep shining, we keep shining, we keep shining, we keep doing classes, keep associating, keep giving witness testimonies. It's getting so bright, it's getting really bright. There's so many witness testimonies now. I see Rivers, I would have thought, spoke to the devotees and encouraged them to give their witness testimonies, which is great. That's a great service she's doing, and you, by doing witness testimonies, is great. They keep shining, we just keep shining, we just keep shining. And they keep covering up. But it's always been like that, You can take it right back to this, which Guru Maharaj always shows us. Right back to Caitanya Lila. And it's so simple. Caitanya Mahaprabhu came to taste. And he came to give this to Kandalas, prostitutes, drunkards. He took sannyas order for those who vibed with that sannyasi kind of thing. I was just sharing, it's kind of like you shared earlier of in here, it seemed like the Brahmana's roles was to cover up, but Guru Maharaj's role is to keep shining and shining. It's kind of like a prasadam pantomime.
Yeah, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine.
We just keep shining, keep shining, keep shining, keep shining. And after a while, how long can the illusionists keep? They are serving as well, aren't they? Everyone's serving. But this, I know in my heart, has the backing of Prabhupada, the whole Sampradaya, Radha Krishna. I shared today that this library mate, don't think he's still here. Guru Maharaj's testimony when he had a spiritual awakening with Jesus Christ. I'll share it again on my timeline. That's amazing. That people won't listen to somebody who had an intense, intimate relationship with Jesus Christ for 3 weeks. If you're not able to listen to somebody who had that intimate relationship with that's very foolish, because that's an amazing realization. Bhakti Devi's spiritual awakening experience Guru Maharaj shared. I love those. I love that video. I love that video very much. And how we keep shining, it gets clearer, and the clarity is just it seems overwhelmingly bright, but I guess those whose savour is to cover up, they cover up, and we keep shining. They cover up, we keep shining. They cover up, we keep shining. There's only one winner, Radha Krishna, Caitanya Mahaprabhu. And I like the pastimes where devotees fight with the Lord. That Jambavan pastime. I think Jambavan fights with Krishna for 40 days, and it's quite a few days before he realises he's fighting, and he's fighting. He must be fighting Krishna because he can't win. And it's like what we're doing all the time, isn't it? We're fighting, but as soon as we let it go, like the amendment I spoke about earlier, I was holding on to making that. As soon as we make these amendments, it's better. It's all better. It's all better. Fighting. This is a beautiful fight to shine the light, not to fight against Krishna, which is what we're all really doing, isn't it? When we're not putting any of this in our life. We might put some of this stuff in, but if we don't put this in, we're really missing out, aren't we? And people are missing out, so okay.
Get on the boat on this Sangha and sail to victory. To
Don't miss
Krishna
the boat.
Golok.
Don't miss the boat. Yeah, don't miss that boat. For each sutra, the direct meaning must be accepted without interpretation. However, you simply abandon the direct meaning and proceed with your imaginative interpretation. So go with the book. Go with what's here.
The book and the Bhagavad-Gita.
Just go with.
You got the book and the Bhagavad-Gita.
It's so simple, and you know. Yeah, how many times, how much more can we keep on, you know, it's so clear to those of us in the Sangha. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, conch shells and cow dung are nothing but the bones and stool of some living entities. But according to the Vedic version, they are both considered very pure. Okay, I think I'm about done. Thank you all for coming along.
Hare Krishna.
I'm not sure. Was talked about coming over to Coventry, so it'd be great to see all. What will be. I don't even know what I'm doing. You know, I never know really. Guru Maharaj taught me to live in the moment. I like living in the moment. Yeah, I'm just relishing the association, devotee association. Yeah, I'd like to see Madhu Ladu and all the devotees. More bicycle yatras. I'd like to do a bicycle yatra, Wales, the northwest, down to Nottingham, south of France. I'd like to do a yatra there. See the devotees that are a bit on the periphery, need some association. Yeah, and I just love it. It's just amazing.
It gets better day by day, and it's also more enjoyable. You know, it's just like, you know, it's just like being in a restaurant and you're getting food that's tasting better and better and better. Similarly, it's like Maharaj is preaching. You know, it's just getting better and better and better, and you're relishing more and more and more, and becoming more empowered. You know? Strengthening us from inside and outside, you know, and helping to serve others, love others, and care for each other. That's one big family in the Sangha.
Feeling useful to me is something that's amazing. Instead of being useless and sitting in isolation and darkness and that misery, and you know, a lot of my journeys I see people still there, and can only give the tools to people to taste this great nectar. Okay, thank you all for coming along. All glory to Sri Gaurahari Das, his amazing service.
And let all these lights shine.
And all the devotees in the Sangha who are doing amazing service. All the devotees doing such amazing service. That's the only thing that's the essence, isn't it? The service, the devotion the devotees have got, and all the devotees in the Sangha have got devotion to Guru Maharaj and to sharing this great nectar. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Causeless mercy.
Jai Shri Krishna. Guru Maharaj ki Jai.